Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 104. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host,
Mr. Dane Cody.
Mr. Dane Cody and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and whatever the hell we like. Thank you for joining us. Welcome back, regulars. Welcome new listeners, all two of you. There might be more, but who knows. Anyway, before we get started, Dane.
Yes?
What did you get up to this past weekend?
Had a long weekend, so I had Friday off.
Oh, yeah.
Which was super
Happy
nice.
Easter, belated Easter.
Yeah. So on Friday, I didn't put pants on, and I played some video games.
Did you get the Monday off?
No, just the Friday.
Just the 3 days. See, I got the 4 day. It was friggin' sweet.
You're an asshole.
It went by way too fast, though, regardless.
Yeah, see, that was the thing. I watched a bunch of anime, and I finished Gears of War 4. And then I did a quick trip up to visit my father into the interior of Canada. Canadania, or Canada, as some of my other friends from down south call it. So I didn't, besides the Friday, I didn't really have any time to play much of anything. Did a trip up there, so that was a few hours drive there and back. Got home Sunday night, headed back to work. Yeah, that was kind of a weekend. What about yourself?
I did a bunch of shit.
Lucky.
I had a big ass list. Had some family. Well, my sister came and brother-in-law,
Nice.
which is your best friend, came into town to visit us for Easter dinner on Sunday. Hung out with my sis a bit, but I had like a big laundry list of stuff to do, and I managed to do a bunch of it. A bunch of it was game related
Nice.
and tech related.
Fair enough.
Well,
Okay.
not a bunch of it. A couple things. Yeah, it was freaking sweet. I probably played way too much Persona. And anyway, we'll get into it in a second. But what was I going to talk about? Yeah, it was like Star Wars Celebration this weekend. So there was a bunch of news out of that. Well, I don't know about a bunch, but a couple big things.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest things that we'll talk about this show. I guess, what was I going to say? Was I going to say something? Oh, I got a ton of feedback on Twitter about the penis boss.
Oh, right on.
I actually got a couple voicemails, too, from some friends. Thought that was pretty hilarious. I meant to put a picture on Twitter so people knew what I was referencing specifically.
Yeah.
Save them the search, because I know how curious they all were. But I don't think I've had as many people reach out to me as that. I think quite a few people thought it was funny.
Fair enough. I appreciate that people enjoy it. You can always come here for your quality entertainment, such as our discussion of penis bosses. So,
If you've been here before, you're pretty familiar with the show. We usually open up with some what you've been playing, get into the news, our public service announcement, and our free-for-all section where we talk about whatever the hell we like.
Yeah.
But of course, even before that, and sometimes before our bullshit section, which didn't happen this week, we get into our designated drinking section.
Yeah.
Where Dane is usually drinking something and I'm 50-50.
Do you really want to give yourself that high? You may have been 50-50 lately, but overall,
yeah.
I mean, it's more like 70-30.
Yeah, for 2017, I'm probably 50-50.
Yeah, maybe.
But for the year and a half before that, probably 70-30.
I'm drinking Cavassier tonight.
Cavassier Hennessy. That's not Hennessy.
It is not Hennessy. It's Cavassier. It's nice.
Cavassier. What do you mix Cavassier? Cavassier there's songs about Cavassier, right?
You don't
rap
mix
songs.
Cavassier. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, you might be too young. No, they drink it straight, but I think there's lyrics. I don't know.
It's probably some rap song that you listen to.
Yeah, I swear Tupac probably drinks it. It's probably in some of his songs.
It was it was heavily featured in the movie. Oh, what the hell's it called now? With Mr. Leon Phelps. otherwise known as the Ladies Man. Really? You haven't seen the Ladies Man? Oh, man.
Oh, that's one of those SNL skit guys, right?
Yeah. And they made it into a full movie. It was great.
Yes.
It was terrible and
know that guy.
Great all at the same time.
I do an impression of him, but I don't want to sound like an idiot. But I know exactly he talks kind of funny.
He's got a bit of a lisp. He's cool.
That's it, yeah.
Anyways, he's
got,
always drinking Cavassier. That is his drink of choice in the Ladies Man.
I'm having such a brain fart right now, but I know it's like a total rapper drink, and specifically like a couple. I don't know why I'm like having a brain fart right now.
Don't know.
Getting old.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I forgot to bring a drink down, but that freaking garbage turkey gross shit is still down here.
There you go. Just grab that.
I think I'm gonna
drinking.
Take a swig out of that bottle as a backup.
You are a classy motherfucker.
Oh, actually, pretty exciting.
Okay.
Unrelated, which I forgot to mention. My freaking baby started crawling.
Wow.
And she's a lunatic.
And she's a
she's fucking crazy, and she started crawling.
She's everywhere now.
Well, she's got no... it was crazy. I swear on Friday, she was doing like the army crawl. You know when they're under the barbed wire?
Right.
And it's like she wasn't up on her hands and knees. She was like on her belly, pulling with her hands and like pushing with one leg.
Okay.
And she was... moving, but it was, that slow, like...
It's almost a little bit of a roll.
Not a roll. It was like an actual, like, just kind of crawling on her stomach, but not like a proper hands and knees crawl on her stomach and pulling with her hands.
Right.
Kind of as if her legs were broken almost.
Okay.
But she would push with her right leg, so it would work. It was working, but it was really slow, and she only went like maybe 4 or 5 feet. And then just magically, she was just like on her knees, and then she was looking and laughing, and then I had my cell phone, and she's like, I'm going to get that thing. And then she just decided to crawl over to it and grab it.
Wow.
So now she's like, when she's got motivation, she crawls over.
Very cool, man. Congratulations. That's a pretty big moment.
The remote control and the cell phone are her favorite things.
The remote control and the cell phone? So she's an electronics baby. She must be yours.
She sees the cell phone and she's like instantly sucked in. And or the remote she loves as well.
Wow.
But yeah, it's pretty funny how fast she progressed. She just like figured it out and it's like, okay, I'm cool. So the one thing that does suck now is now I can't just leave her in the middle of the floor and do other stuff and expect her to be there, because every time I've done that now, she's somewhere else.
Yep, it's
like,
now you got to start baby-proofing the house.
Well, it's been baby-proofed already, but it's like, oh, you just spilt Nico's water bowl everywhere and you're playing with it. Cool, good job. Oh, all the Blu-rays are on the floor from the entertainment center.
Like I said,
cool.
Now you're going to have to start baby-proofing the house. Making sure everything under 3 feet is unavailable, and
yeah, it's pretty hilarious. So that was fun.
That's cool, man. Watching the wee ones grow up and get bigger, always an interesting thing to do. So with that, I guess we can get into what you've been playing. So obviously I've been playing Baby Monitor, but it sounds like you just leveled that up, so you're golden.
I finished Horizon. I said I was going to do it, and I did it.
Good for you. Did you get the good ending?
What do you mean the good ending? There's a good and a bad ending?
Oh, you didn't know?
I didn't fucking know that.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Are you serious? Or are you fucking around?
I'm actually not actually sure. I almost, for some reason, I could have swore I'd heard somebody say that there was multiple endings, but I could totally be wrong. Now I'm actually looking it up.
I don't know if there was, but remember when I was talking about how you did stuff and people were like, oh, I owe you and I'll be there for you?
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about that? Yeah, that impacts the ending. Spoiler alert.
Oh, wow.
I guess. I don't know if it greatly impacts the ending in terms of what the ending is, but they're there helping, so it might make it easier. So
No,
like,
there is not
obviously-
multiple endings in Horizon, so you're good.
yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty good. It does the new game plus sort of,
Okay.
where after you beat it, it like plops you back in the world and it says, "Hey, you've completed it, but we've put you right before the save, and you can continue and do your side mission stuff and so forth."
Oh, okay. So you can go do a
'cause
bunch of
they're
stuff
like,
if
we know
you want.
yeah. They're like, we know you have lots left to do, and you can keep using your stuff and carry on and do all the side missions.
No, that's fair.
You need to beat it so we can have a spoiler cast.
Yeah, I need to actually start playing it again.
Yeah, you do need to.
I know.
It's a really fucking good game.
I know. I've been kind of like, I mean, like I talked about it before. I've been a little bit burnt out on the open world games, and it's funny because I've swung hard the other way, and all the stuff that I've been playing recently has been very much me linear, story driven, short kind of games.
Connect the dots.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, I finished. I was really close, but I finished Gears of War 4 on Friday.
Yeah, you were, by the sounds of it, from what I could tell, from what you were kind of hinting at.
Yeah,
and you were right at the end.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I was on the last. Was it chapter 5 or act 5, chapter whatever? So I was on the last. That game was great. That game was really good. I thought that they did a really good job of allowing it to be its own thing while still pulling some nostalgia from some of the other games, especially. I mean, I won't spoil it in case there's other people that haven't played it or beat it yet, but there's a great moment. I think it's actually near the beginning of Act 5. So when it happens, you'll know, and you'll go, "Fuck yeah, that was cool." At least for me, it was. It was just kind of that, like, yeah, right on moment. And then the last bit, I think it was easier than I thought it was actually going to be, but it was great. You get in these giant mechs, and you go run around and totally wreck shop, which was fun. It ends well, but it definitely, I think, almost leaves more questions than answers.
Yeah, it's like super cliffhanger for sequel.
Yeah, like they don't
it kind of wraps up. It wraps up the driving force for the story of that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Or some of the characters' motivation as to what they were doing.
Yeah, you're chasing a thing that it gives you closure on. But it definitely opens up more of a question of, like, what the fuck, what is going on, how is this happening, why is this happening, and how is this possible, because I thought this was dealt with. So, and I know a lot of people have kind of complained that they thought that near the beginning of that game you fight a whole bunch of robots and stuff, and that by going back toward, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, you start fighting, I don't know what you want to call them in this game necessarily, but
basically the Locust.
Yeah, you start fighting something like the Locust again, and then I know that some people kind of felt that was maybe a bit of a cop-out, but I don't know, I felt like it worked.
Yeah, but they added new enemy types that...
Oh, yeah.
That changed the combat up.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So, that was...
And like I said, it definitely... It asks a lot of questions, or at least it left me asking a bunch of questions, because they kind of hint at like what happened and why this is happening a bit, but I didn't feel like at any point they went like, oh shit, this is a thing that's like happening and this is why, which was both good and bad. I mean, like I said, we left it open for more, which is cool, but I definitely did want to know why and how that this was a thing that had happened, especially when everybody thought that they'd already won. Of course, this is coming from somebody who didn't finish Gears 2 or 3 for that matter, but I'm assuming that they more or less won the war, or what they thought they won the war at the end of Gears.
It was over.
Yeah. So to have, so that this to be set 20 years past that, or 15, 25 years, yeah, past that, and now all of a sudden to have, sort of this, it was a little bit, for me, there was definitely a few questions towards the end of this where I went, wait a minute, how did this thing get this big with this many dudes and nobody's noticed it till now? But, you know, it's a video game. So some of that stuff you just kind of shrug your shoulders and go with. Played awesome. I played the whole thing through on PC with a mouse and keyboard, which was phenomenal. It makes me want to play the other ones on a PC with a mouse and keyboard.
I think they only released the second one on PC.
Yeah, I don't know. It actually makes me tempted to go check, though, because, man, that was great. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, no, it was fun. And it was just, like I said, it kind of scratched a bit of that itch that I had for just that nice story-driven, get me in a straight line, let me kill some stuff, and have a good time. Game's beautiful, ran absolutely great on my rig. Pretty much everything was maxed out. So, yeah, no, if you're kind of on the fence with it and you own a PC or an Xbox One, I would highly recommend you play it. I don't know if...
Yeah, especially if you're a Gears fan, it's a pretty solid Gears entry.
Yeah, I feel like it was, like I said, it was a little bit like the Star Wars Episode 7, where there's enough nostalgia for you to enjoy.
Return to form.
Yeah, but it definitely left it open now for them to take that story in new directions if they want. And
it was better than that Judgment crap.
I didn't play that one, so yes, better than that Judgment crap. Oh, that game was awful. So that one's off my list. I can move on from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
You really should go back and play Horizon.
I'm planning on it.
Just do the main storyline and it'll feel like a linear game because you don't have to do any of the side shit.
Oh, come on, man. I'm going to see all those beacons and I'm going to run off.
I want to talk about the story.
Yeah?
Because I haven't had anyone to talk about the story with. It's a fantastic story.
Yeah, I've heard it's actually a really good story in that game.
Next, where are we? What's come out? It's probably the best. It's easily the best story this year.
Okay, fair enough.
Might be the best story even compared to stuff from last year.
Really?
It's a really good story. Like the justification for all the robots and what's going on in that world and why that world or how that world exists is so cool.
Wow.
And it wraps up pretty good. It's got a pretty good wrap up. And of course, it's got the freaking hooks for the sequel, which you probably could have seen that coming from a mile away.
I'd actually heard that a lot of people were, well, I don't know about a lot of people, but I definitely heard from some people that they were kind of bummed out that they didn't. I mean, obviously, the hope is that the game does great and you can have a sequel to it, but
they're bummed that they said it was good enough that it could have just been wrapped up.
Yeah,
right?
Like I'd heard that the way the game wraps up is super great, but then there's an end credit scene that sort of does something. And again, they have to, man.
Yeah. With the amount of work and assets they created, the world they created for this game, they can't just leave it as a one-off.
Yeah, and I understand video games are expensive.
I would want a sequel. I want a sequel to this world. I want to see another one. I do it's going to be, whatever they do is going to be a little different. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool. I did like the cliffhanger. It was like one of those good Marvel after credits post scenes, right?
Okay, fair enough. So you liked it
because you got closure for the story, right?
Right.
It wasn't quite like the Gears of War one.
Okay.
Where there was more questions. You got most of your questions answered.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. That's good to know.
You got pretty much all of them answered. So,
right.
So it had very good closure for the storyline they crafted. And I think the hook for a sequel is pretty interesting. It leaves it open for them to do some neat stuff.
Right.
Anyway, that was a great game. So I beat that.
Awesome.
And then, of course, I went right back to Persona and played a bunch more of that.
Of course you did.
And I probably don't need to talk about that much more. I don't think. I'm halfway through the second palace. I got my...
How many? Do you know how many palaces there are? 4, 5?
I don't know how many there are exactly because I'm trying to stay away from spoilers and stuff.
Okay.
I think I forgot to mention, though, You know how I was talking about how you can choose how you spend your days in that game? Like, you go to school, and then after school, you can hang out with your friends and build up your relationships with them, which give you perks and so forth, and other benefits for hanging out with other people in the game, and you level up your different skills, and then you can choose to do a dungeon or do all the social stuff.
Yep.
I forgot to mention that if you actually, I think I forgot to mention, I can't remember past last week because I have Alzheimer's, so I might have mentioned it the week before. When you hit the touchpad and you're connected online, the PS4, you know, the big stupid button.
Yep, the one in the middle of the controller.
Yeah. When you hit that, it actually tells you what everyone else did that day at that point. So if it's the afternoon, it gives you a breakdown percentage-wise of who did what. Like, who hung out with their friends, who went to the palace, what the average level is for everyone playing at that point of the game.
Oh, you're talking about other players.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is kind of cool. So you can choose who to hang out with, or you could be like, oh, I don't even have that as an option to go hang out with with those people.
I should look into that.
Which is kind of neat. So, like, you can see, so it can help you decide what to do, because you'll see, oh, like 75% of the people did this thing, so maybe it's worthwhile doing that.
Right.
It'll help, give some weight to that decision of doing that thing. Or apparently you can use it when you're in school and you get asked questions, and it shows you the percentages of what people answered for the questions.
Oh, interesting.
Because sometimes when you sit in class, your teacher is like talking. Excuse me.
Then there's a test.
No, she just calls you out randomly because it looks like you're not paying attention. And she like asks you a question, and then if you get it right, your knowledge goes up. And then all the other students like, oh my God, he's so smart. Oh, how did he know that? Woo. Anyway.
Okay.
Pretty funny. But that's like a main way of getting up your knowledge. And then all these tests, all these questions do come up during exam week, because like there's exam week every once in a while.
Of course there is.
Where like you just have a bunch of tests. But
right.
Anyway. Yeah, that game's still good. I like that game.
I'm still super curious about that game. I really want to play it.
It's super anime JRPG to the nth degree.
See, and I love that. I love anime.
You have to, if you like anime, then you'll just appreciate the art style. This game is just beautiful. It's like a manga or anime come to life. It's so vibrant. There's so many colors.
Oh, that sounds great.
And the characters, I don't know. I love the characters.
I've been on a bit of an anime kick recently, so.
Oh, yeah. You definitely have been. Actually, I forgot to mention it a couple weeks ago. I did start watching One Punch Man.
Oh. How many episodes are you in?
2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you just started then.
I just started. I took a break from Iron Fist while working out.
Okay.
And just threw on a couple episodes to just see what everyone's talking about. I follow someone on Twitter who has One Punch Man's face as his Twitter icon.
Okay, yeah.
And I see the face and picture everywhere all the time. And then you started talking about it, and it's like, okay, this is like in my circle.
It's becoming a thing that people are talking about, and don't really know about.
It's probably something that I'll appreciate, because like the fringe people in my social sphere are talking about it, and then when you started talking about it, I'm like, okay, I guess I could check this out.
Fair enough. So, what are you thinking about it so far? 2 episodes in,
so we're totally out of order here, so it doesn't matter. We're just going to veer off tracks and talk about this.
Exactly.
I'm watching it subbed, subtitled in English. Obviously, it's a Japanese voiceovers. Okay. It's very interesting. So I imagine it's going to get better. It's neat. It's a neat premise. It's a guy who beats all his enemies like with no effort.
Yeah, he's lost. So strong
essentially
that nobody's a challenge, and he's kind of bored.
There's no challenge, so there's no fear. There's no nothing. It's like it's over before it starts. He just doesn't get any satisfaction out of it anymore. He's kind of bummed because like he wanted to be a hero, and he is a hero, but like he doesn't feel anything because it's so easy.
Yeah.
And he's just got this issue of like, well, I'm doing this, but it's not fulfilling, and I wanted to be this because I thought it would fulfill me, and then it's like I'm here beating all the bad guys and saving people, but it doesn't make me happy.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. It's pretty neat.
And I'm curious, like when you get a little further on and stuff, it's interesting because he's so strong that they have to figure out ways on the show to make sort of plot points move forward and stuff like that without them ending 5 minutes into the episode, because he would just one punch them and that would be the end of whatever it is that's a problem.
And that's literally it. He freaking punches his enemies and most of them explode into guts and junk.
Yeah, and so they find various ways to sort of make that an episode, and where they go with it is very interesting. And that's what I was saying before. Like the first episode for me, I kind of went, huh, this is kind of weird.
Yeah. It is. That's where I'm at. It's like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And
but because it's such a short season, it's only 13 episodes, and they're only 22 minutes, 20-minute episodes. Well, half hour with commercials or et cetera. So 20 minutes. It's easy to get through, but I definitely, after I watched the first episode, I went, I don't know if this is my thing or not. And then I watched the second episode and I went, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then the weird thing is that for me, at least, it's a show that I've watched the first season, and I finished it and I kind of went, huh, I don't know how I feel about that. And then it's like, as I've thought about it after having watched all of it, it's like I've formed more of an opinion on it now, and I think I actually like it more than I did initially. It's weird
that you've had time to digest it. It's a cool concept. It's like The Billionaire, right? It's like the opposite of being, if you're a billionaire, you can have whatever you want, whenever you want, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then you get to that point where it's like, well, there's no satisfaction in anything.
Yeah. Well, and
like,
you're
fun's not fun anymore. And
there's a pretty huge plot device that I think kicks in the third episode.
Well, I think that's where I am, and that's where it seems like they're going to start introducing other characters.
Yeah, like they introduce sort of a quote unquote sidekick right away.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah. It's the cyborg who wants to be taught by him.
Yeah.
And that's essentially where I'm at.
Yeah, there's a plot device that they introduce. I won't say it necessarily, that comes in. I think it's in the next episode. And it when they did it, I actually went, "Are you serious? That's what the hell?" So yeah, in a good way though, and it's a weird thing. And when you watch more of it, you'll understand what I mean. There's like, it's a big thing that happens, and it helps move the story along a lot.
The villains are so ridiculous too.
Oh, like they're insane.
The two villains, to give you everyone out there an idea, the first two episodes, one was this freaking meathead pair of brothers. This one brother wanted to be the strongest man alive, and his brother was like a scientist who came up with some concoction that basically turned him into a huge giant. Yeah. And then he just decided to rampage through the city, killing everybody and just destroying, like a Godzilla size.
Yeah, he's huge.
Like so he's like a giant,
20 stories tall,
humongous. Yeah,
he's huge,
and he's just rampaging, killing everyone, and his evil scientist brother's like on his shoulder, commanding him around to go destroy everything. And then what was the other one? The other one was was the crab monster.
Yeah, he's like a dude that's got legs.
He's a dude
like
who
normal.
ate too much seafood, and then he turned into a crab, half man, half crab monster.
Yeah, and he's got these giant pinchers, and it's It's kind of the other thing that kind of surprised
That's the
me about
origin
that
story
show
monster.
was how gory it is actually.
Yeah, it is pretty gory. That's the flashback origin story monster
Right.
that created One Punch Man, essentially.
Right. Yes.
I can't remember his name. So, yeah, it's pretty effed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gory. People are exploding because, like, literally when he punches them, that's what happens almost. I like it. I want to watch more.
Oh no, it's like I said, it's a weird
hilarious.
it's a weird thing that it's definitely unique, and I got to give it that. And it's like I said, it was something that I appreciate more after I finished it now that I think about it than I did necessarily at the time.
It'll be interesting to see, like you said, the stuff they introduced because, yeah, like, you know, like that's the challenge with Superman. He's got every power because they just were ridiculous when they created him, and it's like they had no one that could beat him. So how do you challenge
Well,
a person or a being of that magnitude, right?
They sort of put people around them that are susceptible to things and aren't people, right?
Yeah.
And they do a similar thing in this as well. But there's, like I said, there's a plot device that's coming up that you'll be like, are you fucking kidding me? This is hilarious.
I will definitely finish it.
So yeah, I'll be curious to like I said, to find out more of your thoughts once you kind of hit that and see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like it.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a while. Like, I haven't watched any anime since Attack on Titan.
Oh, wow.
Actually, no, that's a lie. Because I was watching Sword Art Online. I was talking about that on the show, right?
Yeah, I remember that you'd
maybe
mentioned
a year or so ago.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that one either.
Yeah, no, I've got like 3 on the go right now. It's kind of depending on whatever mood I'm in. I watch one of them.
I've always liked anime because it harkens back to when I used to run the video game store.
Yep.
And like I mentioned, we talked about it. Like, we used to import a lot of it. So we're talking like Ninja Scroll and Neon Genesis and all that, Evangelion and all that stuff. We imported a Record of Lodoss War.
I've got all of those.
What's the other one that I really liked? Escaflowne.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that series.
But the Japanese version of that show, not the horrible North Americanized one that got totally destroyed.
No, the Japanese version. I never saw that.
Oh, the one that was on TV here is just brutal. How badly it got edited and censored.
That show is so good.
Yeah.
I love their little freaking suits of armor, their mechs.
Yeah.
And little cat girl. Always gotta have little cat girls in your animes.
Of course. I started watching. I didn't realize that they released a new season of Berserk last year.
I heard of that. I've never watched the Berserk ones.
Oh man, I don't even know how to describe it.
And we talked about Attack on Titan season 2 is out too.
I know. I heard it's really short. It's only like 13 episodes. I didn't realize that it was so short, and I've heard very mitigating things where a lot of people were really disappointed, and now I'm kind of like half afraid to watch it because the first season was so good. So we'll see. I don't know.
Well, the problem is now you're watching it like on a week by week basis.
Yeah,
because they didn't release the whole series. I don't think, as far as I know.
I'm not sure. Like, again, I need to look into this. I'd heard that there was 13 episodes in this season, and it sounded like that was the whole season. But unless they're planning on releasing it, like you said, week by week, and there's still more seasons,
I think it's been airing on TV there, right?
Then that would be great. So, we'll see. But yeah, Berserk. What can I say about that?
I've heard good things about Berserk.
The original anime was in the late 90s. I think it was 98 that they did it. One of my favorite animes of all time. But what happened was they made the very first bit of the manga into an anime, and instead of ending it in a place that would have made sense at, say, episode 22, they pushed forward and they made it right up into the point of where they were at the time in the manga. And it was a really, really, really bad place to end the anime, because it is in one of the most pinnacle moments of the entire manga, mixed with the fact that it's a horrible thing that is happening in the story. And it's completely and utterly so not this anywhere remotely close to what you've been watching for the past 24 episodes. So it just, this thing happens that seems so out of left field, and then the anime just ends, and you're like, what the fuck was that? And they never made a second season up until, well, essentially now. Because the thing is that in the anime, in the manga, sorry, there was the very first sort of episode, if you will, and then the rest of it is a throwback, so it goes back to the beginning. So most of season 1, you've got the one episode, the first episode in the anime is essentially what's happening in the current time, and the whole rest of the season, so 20 plus episodes, are all what had happened to lead up to that point. And it wasn't until long after I watched all of that and read a ton of the manga and stuff like that I realized that the first episode in the manga, in the anime, was way the hell off in the manga. Like, we're talking 50, 60 issues plus. So it's all a flashback, which is incredible. That first season is, like I said, one of the most incredible animes I've ever watched. But that being said, unless you're going to keep like reading the manga, stop at like episode 22. Because it's just, it goes from being like this incredible sword, and I don't even want to say sorcery, because there's not really much in the way of magic and stuff necessarily, but it's essentially following this one dude who wields this massive sword, and he ends up in a group of mercenaries, and they go from being this ragtag group of mercenaries to a force to be reckoned with. And it's them waging all of these wars on behalf of this king and his kingdom. And then they get to the point where the king starts to worry that they're almost getting too powerful. And it's all of that. It's almost a little bit Game of Thronesy. But there's a few moments in that first season that talk a little bit and sort of throw a little bit of the weirdness that's going to come. There's a moment in the first season where they go into a castle, and essentially there's like this dude that's like more or less a demon, and they get into a giant fight, and they have to, fight him. And it kind of gives you that at that moment a little bit of the like, oh, there's definitely something else going on in this universe that hasn't really come to fruition yet. And then there is an event that happens at the end of that first season that is, I don't even really know how to describe it. It's super fucked up. And it's, and then that is literally where the season ends, and you're just going like, what? For the longest time, I was so angry that I like watched it because I loved it so much, and then it just ended, and the way that it ended, it like just made me so angry, and I never got more of it. And then now I've read a ton more of the manga and stuff like that, so it all kind of makes sense to me and whatnot. So this season that came out last year is a lot more. This one almost seems like it happens shortly after, like a few years after the events that happen at the end of season 1. At least I'm like 4 or 5 episodes in now, and that's more or less what it seems like so far watching the one that came out last year. So that's really cool, seeing what that instead of just redoing the origin story all over again and doing that whole, essentially the first season, they've kind of left from there and they're continuing the story on, which is cool. So, yeah. I love that anime, though. It is really good. But that being said, it is like that world almost makes the Witcher's world look happy. Like, it's a really dark, really, really dark world. And like super messed up shit happened.
It's super gory and violent.
Oh,
right?
yeah. One of the most violent, one of the most gory and dark. It might, well, there's a few animes that I've watched that are pretty dark, but it is definitely probably in the...
He's got like a big ass fucking sword, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah, like huge. It's massive.
Yeah, I think there's a Berserk game that came out last year.
There was, yes. It came out actually earlier this year. It was done...
Was it earlier this year?
Yeah, it was done in the same, or in the similar style as a Dynasty
like a
Warriors
Monster
game.
Hunter.
Dynasty Warriors, actually. It was an Omega Force game.
Dynasty? Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking, but I think it has like some Monster Hunter-esque crafting type,
it might.
like level of shit.
I'm really on the fence. I'm hoping that during this, if we get a spring or a summer Steam sale, if it pops up in there, I'm totally going to pick it up.
If anything, I feel like it's the freaking 90s and I'm back at the video game shop.
Yeah.
Because I have so many Japanese games right now.
Oh, it's
between
so good.
Final Fantasy, Gravity Rush 2, Legend of Zelda, Nier. I bought Nier. It was on sale on Amazon for $50.
And you didn't tell a brother?
I haven't played it
You're
yet.
a terrible friend.
Bought it.
You got to tell me about these types of deals.
I didn't know you wanted it.
I've been talking about how I want it.
Oh, well, then I wasn't listening. It might actually still be on sale on Amazon.
Damn it. But then you had to buy an actual physical copy, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought a physical copy.
Ugh.
And then, of course, did I already say Zelda? And then Persona 5.
Yep.
It's like, these are all Japanese games, and they've all been reviewed pretty goddamn well.
Yeah, they really have.
It's like, I feel like I'm playing PS2. I'm back in the, like, heyday PlayStation era. And it makes sense, because the PS4 is kicking quite ass as well. So,
yeah.
Hey, look at that. Japanese devs are back in the fold again. Just took them a little while, I guess.
Yeah, they seem to be definitely on a roll, that's for sure.
So I guess did you want to talk about Call of Duty? You started playing that again?
I am so close. I am so close to the end of that game. It's painful, actually, how close I am to the end of that game. I thought I was going to finish it this morning, but
oh, yeah, because you're doing the early morning thing again, right?
Yeah, I've been playing in the morning. I have, let's see here. I'm currently on my way to assault Mars. So everything has happened up until that point, and I've gone back, ganked the badass enemy ship, and I'm headed back to Mars to take it back to them. And that's kind of where I've left it at this morning. But I mean,
yeah, there's surprisingly quite a bit left.
Oh, really?
It's not like one mission. It's like...
Interesting. Okay. So
You're probably 85% of the way there.
Yeah, that was kind of the feeling I got. But the interesting thing is that there was the mission just before that, and I got the feeling like, okay, well, this is it, because I get to my
that's how I felt.
I get to my world map, and they're like, yeah, if you've got anything left that you want to do, you probably want to do that now, because you're not going to have a chance to do it later. So I did all that stuff, and then I was like, all right, so this has got to be like the last mission. And then I went and I did that, and then
it's like the last 4 missions.
Okay, yeah,
or 5 missions.
Interesting.
It is the end, but it's not like, okay, here we are, last mission done. It's like it goes and it goes and it goes, and it's pretty great. I love that game.
Awesome.
I love that campaign.
That's good to hear.
Campaign.
So
that campaign was fucking dope.
Yeah. So far, I did all the side missions and stuff. I feel like this has been one of the longest Call of Duty games, single player at least, that I've played.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm really surprised. I was going like,
I'm so
holy
choked
crap.
that I was not very happy that they were saying that it underperformed, and that, you can't blame. I don't think it's the devs' fault. I think it's more Activision's fault for ramming Call of Duty down everyone's fucking throat every year.
Yeah.
It's just really unfortunate because, in my opinion, Infinite Warfare has like the best campaign since Modern Warfare.
You think so?
I think it's a fantastic campaign. I love it. It's so good.
It's been really good. We'll probably have the sort of final say on what my thoughts are next week because I'll have beat it by then. So I'll save that. But
I like how they broke it up with the Jackal missions, and
I liked that a lot. Actually,
I like the characters. You actually knew the characters.
That was one of the things that I thought they did a really good job of, because I feel like that's partly been Call of Duty's issue in the last few games. Is that you're playing
who anyone
these
is or give a fuck who they are.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas that first game, not the first game, sorry, the fourth game, Modern Warfare
with Soap and Ghost, and
the fact that we can actually remember their names, Soap McTavish and Ghost, and we cared about those guys, and there was a reason, and there was that we were interested in them. And then I don't think I could name another character in any of the other Call of Duty games since then.
No. Nope.
Till now, where I'm playing with the Major and these characters and Ethan, and it's actually characters that I seem to care about. And like, there was a moment when they knocked off one of the guys, the Marine, and I was choked. Like, I was like, no, like, he was cool. He was such an a-hole at the beginning, and then he kind of warmed up to me and Ethan, and now you're good. Oh, it bummed me out. It genuinely bummed me out. So it's definitely a great single player. I'm really enjoying it. I feel like it's kind of what I needed after all the open world stuff that I've been playing. So.
Yeah, Roach was another one of the guys from Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And then the bad guy,
Zakayev, yep.
The Russian.
Yeah, see, those were... You remember all that crap, So, anyways. It's a good game. I'm really impressed.
So, that's it for what you've been playing / watching anime. We can get into some news and stuff. As I alluded to earlier, Star Wars Celebration just happened in somewhere in Florida.
I want to say it was Orlando.
Lucky Bastard Stone was there for the whole weekend.
I saw that, man.
Looked like he had a lot of fun. I guess I'd take that was his holiday.
Dude's got the hookup. He looked like he knew some of the people. That he got some pretty cool behind the scenes and side door access, and looked like he had quite the show.
He is quite the player.
He is badass.
Looked like he had fun, that's for sure. Made me envious. I'm like, what the hell?
I know.
I have somewhere to stay if I was to go to Orlando. Why didn't I think of going to this? I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
So a couple of big things came out of it. Obviously, the first. We talked. We talked about the leak of Battlefront last week, right?
Yeah, we talked about the short leak that we had seen.
So they had the official reveal for Battlefront 2. They showed the extended trailer, and they showed and introduced the campaign story and talked about the single player.
Right.
And that they unveiled that you actually are playing as basically a stormtrooper commando, a female, after the destruction of the Death Star in Return of the Jedi.
This is super exciting to me, because one of my favorite Star Wars games was Republic Commando. And while I understand that this happens well after that game, that was an awesome game where you were playing as an Imperial Stormtrooper Commando dude. And so to go back into you're a Special Ops Commando for the Imperial is a cool idea. And I'm kind of glad that they went that route.
Yeah, it is kind of neat. It's written by don't know his name, the main dude behind Spec Ops: The Line, which I still haven't played, but people swear it has an amazing story.
I feel like I own that on some platform.
I definitely own it. It was a PlayStation Plus title.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I at least own it on PS3. But I think I might have it magically on freaking PC somehow. But it's one of those games on my pile of shame. And that people swear that game is fantastic. So I think he's the lead writer on this. And then I don't know Mitchie D's role, XIGN editor.
I saw that.
Is also credited as a writer. So I don't know if they worked together or if he was just like a co-writer. Or what, but it's pretty exciting stuff. Cool storyline premise, single player campaign confirmed. All that they unveiled and showed all the eras.
Unless they really screw this up, it is looking like a game that I will most likely be picking up.
I didn't buy Battlefront last year at launch because it was multiplayer only, and I said I just don't care.
Yeah.
I did end up getting it at Christmas time, the holiday sale for $10. So I could play the X-Wing mission, which is the best freaking VR freaking game, period. Well, actually Resident Evil 7 is pretty fucking good. But that game's I want a full fucking campaign of that. God damn it. That was so good. So I bought it for that, but I never played it because there's no single player campaign. So this one I will definitely pick up now.
Yeah.
Because now they're adding some value for me who I don't care to play the multiplayer. So we got the official unveil of that. The lead director said that there wasn't going to be a season's pass, which caused some drama a little bit because EA is like, about that.
We're not talking about that right now. How about we don't talk about that right now?
Yeah, so there's something coming, and there's been some clarification that there will be some pass of some sorts, but it looks like all the maps going forward are going to be included, and that any pass, I imagine, is going to be probably heroes and other types of add-ons.
Right.
Because by the sounds of it, the way they did it with Battlefront, not everyone bought all the packs, so it split up the player base quite a bit.
Right.
So I think they're kind of doing the Titanfall 2 thing where you get the maps and stuff, and it'll probably be aesthetics, and maybe, I'm going to imagine, knowing it's EA, it's definitely going to be heroes that you'll be buying.
Yeah, that
which makes sense.
I think you're probably right, and I think it's smart to do that.
I think that's smart too. I don't think maps should ever be in expansion packs. It's so fucking stupid because you literally chop your player base in half, or even worse, a third. Like, it just.
I mean, do you remember
not everyone
back in the day when Unreal Tournament came out, or Doom, or Quake 3? Any of those, like, you would just download maps. Like, there was tons of maps, and you would download whatever. There was maps that they got released. There was downloads. There was maps that got made. That was never something that you bought. It was just given away as a free.
That's something that the consoles miss in multiplayer games. It's like the player created maps. That doesn't exist. That was such a huge thing. It still exists in the PC world.
Not like it used to, though.
But yeah, definitely not like it used to. Definitely, exactly. Not like it used to. Like you said, like when we used to play Counter-Strike back in the day, people were making maps. There was new maps all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
And then good maps would float up to the top, and then everyone would hear about it, and the game would always seem fresh, whereas now you're kind of held back by the lockdown season pass.
Yep.
Like, and the content pack or the expansion or there's new maps every 2 months, and like we said earlier, it kind of kills the player base, shrinks every time.
Yep.
Your most hardcore keep going forward, but then your more casual that fills out the base, they get left behind, and then they can't join any games, or their modes aren't supported anymore because it moved to the new map. Yeah, I think it's a good idea that they.
I think it's smart. You bring out.
It makes sense.
You make people pay for things that ultimately don't matter, but players love. I want the hot pink fucking mech suit. Then pay $1.50 or 50 cents or $2 or whatever it is.
Because the guy who bought the game has some kids, doesn't play it every day, plays it sporadically, and then he's gone for a couple months, and then he comes back. It's like, oh, no one's playing this. Well, that's not true. They're all playing the Death Star expansion, which he didn't buy or he has no idea about because he's not the guy who goes to the fucking website.
Or he feels like, hey, I don't play it that often.
I don't play it.
Do I really
I don't play it enough
to? And at that point, he just goes, well, I guess I'm going to move on to a different game now then.
Yep. EB Games traded it.
Yep. Exactly.
That's cool. I hope that's what they do. It sounds like that's what's going to happen, but it's too bad there wasn't any season pass at all, and you just bought the game once. The season passes can go suck up.
Yeah.
The other big
pass is the first DLC pack for Wildlands just came out.
Yeah, I meant to share that with everyone, and I never got around to that.
I gotta download
it. Oh yeah, I didn't get that. I bought the game. God damn it! Why the fuck did I give you that?
Yeah,
didn't realize it was the super mega version.
Oh, it has all kinds of cool stuff in there. It's great.
The other big thing about Star Wars Celebration was obviously the teaser trailer, the 2-minute teaser trailer. Was it 2 minutes, or am I making stuff up?
Didn't they do the whole? There's a teaser trailer, and then there's gonna be. Then there was the actual trailer that came out 2 days after, or whatever.
I'm thinking of Thor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that definitely happened for Thor.
Their first trailer for The Last Jedi was the huge thing that came out of Star Wars Celebration.
And it looks great.
It does look great.
I don't think anybody didn't think it was going to look great.
Mm-hmm. No.
But it looks really cool.
I don't need to watch any more trailers. Just like Thor, I'm good. We already knew we all knew we wanted to watch it already. It was kind of cool to see our favorite heroes and villains back.
Oh yeah, it looks rad.
There was some interesting stuff that I was talking to a coworker about it, because obviously you've seen the trailer, right?
Yep, watched it a couple of times.
Spoiler alert for like 2 minutes. If you don't want to hear anything about the Last Jedi trailer, I'm going to talk about something quick here. Okay, I'm starting now. During the trailer, there's a scene where it shows Kylo's helmet smashed.
Yeah.
Me and my coworker were like, didn't he leave? Like, he didn't have his helmet after fighting Rey and Finn. For one, he
pulled it off, didn't he?
He threw it down on the bridge when he had that moment with his father.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, is that a new helmet? Did he get that helmet back? Did someone recover that helmet? Like, we're kind of confused about that part. Chances are it's probably just a new helmet, and he just had another Kylo baby spaz and wrecked it. But
or you got to remember too, it is a trailer, and it's a teaser trailer at that. And just because it's in the trailer doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make it to the end movie.
This is true. So we were just kind of confused on that.
Many trailers have shown, especially recently. So
we were kind of confused.
Yeah.
Because it's like, wait, what? But it's not like a special helmet. He doesn't need it for any reason. It's not like Darth Vader.
I think it was his way of trying to be Darth Vader, though, because like he was obsessed with Darth Vader, right? The whole episode, he was angry and wanted to be Darth Vader. I want to hate more, but I love. Anyways, such a cool character that started off, and by the end of the episode, or the end of that episode, I was definitely one of my least favorite villains, if you will, in a Star Wars show.
I still like him.
So
that was the other big thing, and there was a bunch of other little stuff, but not big megatons like that. Nintendo
doesn't like money.
Yeah, I got these in the wrong
don't
order.
like money.
Switches around. Nintendo has discontinued the NES Classic. So for all of you out there that were bitching, fuck you, Rico, you have one, you asshole, and you don't even use it, you dick. I hate you. Well, now you can swear at Nintendo because you definitely ain't going to get one now.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go on eBay and the prices have gone back up thanks to Nintendo.
I can imagine because people were like before they were thinking, I'll just wait and I'll just find one on a shelf and it'll be fine.
Yep. One day it'll be on the store shelf.
And then Nintendo goes and announces, oh yeah, by the way, we're discontinuing it. So the next shipments that people get is probably going to be their last one or two. And that's going to be it. And I don't understand. They've never even come close to getting...
Filling the demand.
Yeah, filling demand. Like, not even close. I
filling demand and or...
personally know some people that have been trying to find one.
Yeah. The other thing is that they also didn't... They never fucking said it was going to be a temporary thing. Like, they're all acting... Nintendo's acting like, oh yeah, it was never going to be a permanent thing. It's like, what? You never said it. You never said that or even alluded that was the case.
So even if it wasn't going to be a permanent thing, wouldn't have they said, one, limited time only, or two, wouldn't you keep making them until you actually see demand go down? Because I guarantee you the fact that they're flying off the shelves as quickly as they are right now, the only thing that Best Buy and EB Games and all these other places are doing is freaking ordering them. And Nintendo is sending them what little stock they're able to actually get the hold of, and they're selling out faster than they can get them. So wouldn't you think that Nintendo would be talking to their suppliers and they would go, hey guys, how are those things selling? And they're going, hey, they're flying off the fucking shelves. We can't even keep them in stock for more than an hour. And Nintendo would go, oh, okay, cool. We'll keep making them then until you guys are going like, hey, you know, we got a whole bunch of these and people don't seem to really care about them anymore.
I honestly don't think these fuck things have ever actually hit a shelf.
I've never seen one in the wild.
I don't think.
How's that? I've seen empty boxes on a shelf that looks like it. And then when you go over and you pick it up, you realize, oh, it's an empty box. And then you talk to somebody and they're like, oh no, we've never put one on a shelf.
I'm looking
as soon as they come in, they're gone.
I'm looking on eBay at the lists. There's guys selling the systems hacked with all the NES games on them.
Wow.
I like this guy's auction. This is fucking hilarious. You must own, disclaimer, legally you must already own all of the following games in order to purchase an item. Yeah, sure, right. Yeah, like anyone's gonna fucking own every Nintendo game?
Yeah.
What a dumbass. What a fucking idiot. He's just asking to get freaking charged or sued. Like, you're basically, you're admitting piracy and turning around trying to sell it. There's actually a bunch with them on it already. What a bunch of tools.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo's dumb. Like, they're so fucking dumb.
I don't honestly know.
What is the harm? This thing has got to be so cheap. Either there's no money in it, so they're like, fuck it, we can't be bothered.
So just, this thing was selling for what? Was it $69 Canadian?
79 Canadian
so
and like 60 American.
Currently on Amazon.ca, which is Amazon Canada, the cheapest that I can get the Nintendo Entertainment System NES Classic Edition is $289, and those are used. There's 8 new for sale for $400 each. That's insane. And they go up from there. The most expensive one on here is $488.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Nintendo's dumb. They should have just kept releasing it in waves until it just the retailers didn't want it anymore.
I don't understand though.
People are speculating. There's a couple things we'll talk about in the next news story, but there's a couple things. First, some people are speculating the whole release of the system was to get Nintendo back in the mind share, to get people thinking about Nintendo with the launch of the Switch coming.
Right.
Which is here now. And then the other thing is people are like, well, they're going to launch Virtual Console soon, so they want you to rebuy those games again on the Switch. So let's get rid of the NES Classic.
Yes, because there's going to be so much crossover.
It must be. I don't know.
Somebody somewhere
Maybe they just don't. Maybe they don't make enough
needs to
money
get their head out of their ass and be like, okay, guys, these things are flying off shelves faster. Can we just print some more money? I mean, make more of these, please.
Maybe they just don't make enough to justify manufacturing it. So, on that point, sources say that Nintendo is going to release the Super Nintendo Mini this year, which obviously seems like a no-brainer. But you won't be able to get that either, so forget that idea.
To be fair, I'd be more interested in the Super Nintendo Mini.
There's better games than the Super Nintendo, that's for sure. The NES is classic, but Super Nintendo was shit.
I feel like they
hopefully they
would
put more
hold up
games on
better is the thing for me. Like I think that there's some incredible games on the NES, but
Super Nintendo is that's where all the amazing pixel art, the infatuation with beautiful pixel art comes from that 16-bit Super Nintendo era.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the SNES games.
I just think they've aged better.
Yeah,
a lot of the games that you could play on the Super Nintendo still, you go to play them and they're still very much playable games. They don't feel like terrible games that have aged badly.
Yeah.
I would go as far as to say that some of the games that you can play on the Super Nintendo have actually aged better than some of those first 3D games on the PlayStation, Saturn, and those systems. So
we all know that I'm a fucking baller and I'm a genius. And I built a RetroPie because I'm so smart.
Yeah, I think you talked about
these things. Like, it was that fucking hard to do. I plugged in a fucking SD card. It was like, click, click. There, I have an emulator console.
Yeah. What did it cost you, did you say?
It was under $100.
Yeah.
After case, SD card, power supply.
They're actually selling a kit on Amazon.ca.
Yeah,
it's $100 and it's just the kit. You just buy it. It's $99 and it's got everything.
That's probably the kit I bought.
It's got absolutely everything you would need. Yep, it's got a case, RetroPie or Raspberry Pi. It even has
or whatever it is.
It even has a SD card in it.
Yeah, I didn't need that. It only came with an 8 gig. I happen to have a 64 lying around.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was playing with that, and I was playing some N64 on it.
Uh-huh.
Oof. Yeah, ouch.
Yeah, those...
Like you were saying, to your comment about games that don't age well, like, N64 was dope at the time, but...
yeah, a lot of those games did not... unless they were 2D games, they didn't age well at all.
No,
they're really hard to play now.
They look fucking terrible.
And the brutal thing is that so many of those at the time
were fucking amazing.
Mind blowing. You know, the first time I played Turok, even with all the fog and shit, it blew my fucking mind. Like, I thought it was incredible. And obviously Super Mario was holy shit. Yeah.
You remember the N64 controller? What a weird fucking controller.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, that's for sure.
The fucking claw. The 3-prong fucking thing.
In hindsight, now that I look at it, it kind of looks like a 3-ended dildo.
Takes a special breed of woman for N64 controller.
Yeah. It's definitely unique, that's for sure.
Twitch... Anyway, moving along. You ain't gonna be able to buy one, so get angry now.
Yeah. Well, who knows? I mean, knock on wood, maybe Nintendo will actually make more of these because they realize people fucking want it.
They won't.
Probably not. Because it's Nintendo. Sorry. You're probably right.
It is Nintendo.
I'll hold out hope.
Twitch announces premium subscription models, so that you can support your streamers even more, aka give Twitch more money, because really they get more as well. So
okay, so currently there's a standard subscription is $5, but over the next few weeks, Twitch is going to be rolling out the beta for premium
$10 and
$25 subscriptions,
which gives you ad-free streaming, which I get for free because I run an ad blocker. I mean, no, I don't run an ad blocker. You get icons and shit for the chat.
Yeah, it looks like you'll add free viewing.
I don't know what's better.
Subscriber badges.
If your streamer has a Patreon, I wonder what ends up giving them more money in their pocket. Like if you subscribe through Twitch, like I'm not familiar with what Twitch's cut is on this type of stuff.
I'm actually just looking right now to see if it actually says.
I don't think so. You'd probably have to be a partner, and it probably varies on what kind of partner you are. Pretty sure it's not publicized. But like on Patreon, I think Patreon's, I want to say I heard Patreon's 5%, and that's like regardless of who the fuck you are. And mainly that's to cover server costs and credit card processing fees and shit, right?
Right.
So like it makes sense that they take a cut, right? Because you're not paying for any of that shit, right?
Yeah, I mean it does make sense that they would, but I mean I'm sure they're taking a much larger cut than.
I think they should just have the $5 and that you choose whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, why 10 and 25? Like, why not just make it the 5 and then whatever the hell you want? Because then you can give, if you really like, you're in love with your Twitch streamer, notice me, senpai, I give you $100 a month because I love you so much. Like, why not? That only makes them more money. So why gate it with 2 stupid levels? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But that's good news for our streaming buddies.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, obviously, any way that they can kind
Mike and Stacy might see a benefit, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, ultimately, you gotta become a Twitch partner for this to kick in the first place, which, by and large, as I understand, is not overly easy. It's a lot more difficult than it seems, or it should be, by the sounds of it. It seems like there doesn't seem to be any real who, what, where, and how to become a partner. It seems
it's
like,
who you know.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's seeming like.
I know people that have no fucking followers
that are partners,
but that are in San Francisco. They have double-digit viewership, but they know people at Twitch, and it's like, hey, we'll give you a partner account.
Right. Yeah,
so
whereas
like
other people,
you happen to know the right people.
Yeah, I don't even know that. I don't believe Mike and Stacy over at Wabam are partners. Which is super annoying.
I think their partner requirements are pretty ridiculous. Last I checked, I think it's like 500
concurrent viewers or something.
An average of 500 viewers a stream, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Apply for partnership.
I know lots of big streamers, with the exception of the total like pro gamers and the super crazy guys. Like some of those guys, when a new game comes out or like some tournaments going on, they might get like 10,000, 15,000 viewers. But these are like huge name, like pro gamers. They're not your average streamers.
Right.
But I think on average, the big or the popular streamers I see on any given night.
See, they've changed it.
Hover around 1,000 to 2,000, maybe, and that's getting high a stream.
Yeah, they've changed the Twitch partnership thing.
Oh yeah.
Back when I just started streaming a bit and we decided to do our podcast, they had fairly stringent. You had to have 1,000 subscribers, and you had to be doing concurrent viewers and things like that. Currently, the only partnership guidelines that they have on the application page is that you're an established and steadily growing audience in chat. You are a regular broadcast. You have a regular broadcast schedule of at least 3 times a week, and that your content conforms to our rules of conduct, terms of service, and DMCA guidelines. And then after that, of course, it's completely up to them now as to whether or not they will accept you as a partner.
So, who you know, not what you know.
Totally.
And stream 3 times a week. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, that can be easier.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's where you go to TwitchCon, and you go shake hands and make friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hint, hint.
Yeah.
One day we'll be streamers, Dane. When I have fast internet, and then we'll get famous, and then we can quit our day jobs.
I don't mind my day job though.
I don't mind my day job either.
Oh.
It's a lot of money, and it's way better hours than a fucking streamer.
Yeah.
I have a love affair with streaming. Like, I'm going to admit this. I sometimes am very envious because we're, like, let's be honest, we're on the fringes of this industry, right?
Yep.
We have our podcast, and we love gaming. We go to conventions. We live and breathe the stuff because it's our hobby. So it seems like the next evolution is to become a streamer or a YouTuber. So there's always that infatuation of like, oh, I want to be a PewDiePie, or I want to be a Joe Schmo Twitch guy. And then I think about it, and it's like, well, yes, a few of them make a lot of money, but they literally live on their computer.
Yeah, man.
Longer hours than I go to work already at my full-time job. They don't necessarily get to quit because you have to keep doing social media when you're even not behind the camera.
It's more or less a lifestyle.
Yeah, you have to edit video.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's got to be. It's a tough gig, man. And
well, here's the other thing too: is on one hand, everything that you just said is absolutely true, but if you hit a certain point, then you can slow it down and you can have more of a schedule. And as long as you keep that schedule, you've got your base and you can sort of choose your own hours more. But the thing is that there's so many people now trying to get into this that you need to be doing something either different or weird, or you got to be good looking enough or ugly enough, or you've got to have some sort of shtick that makes you stand out from the crowd in order for you to come to the top.
Like, it's not just about doing it all the time.
No, like we're at a point now where there's so many people doing it that
there's even more to it than that. It's like it's the gold rush, but it might be the gold rush is kind of getting over.
Kinda, yeah. I think
everyone's claimed their corner of the fucking
a little bit
of the countryside.
Yeah, a little bit. So I mean, unless you're the guy that's doing something different or causing people to come to look at you, then it's
so
hard.
I have a love affair with it, like, because it's cool when some streamers and personalities we know get to go to E3 for free because they're sponsored. Or they get every game for free in their mailbox and whatever, the other benefits that come along with it.
Yeah.
But then I remember that, well, I only work 7.5 hours a day. I have full benefits. I make a very, very good living. But as soon as the clock is done, I can do whatever I want.
Yep.
Whereas if I was a streamer, I have a schedule I can't skip. I have to play games whether I want to or not. I have to entertain. You always have to be on.
Yeah, it can be stressful.
So it's like there's some downsides, and it's a hard gig. So it's like like I said, in theory, it's like I want that. I want to be that. I want to do that. And it's like, you know what? That's a lot harder than what I'm doing now. And you know what? I don't know if I would make. I probably wouldn't make as much money as I do now. I'd probably actually make less.
There's a possibility that you may make more.
There is a possibility, but that possibility is slim.
Yeah,
it's like becoming a famous actor. Right?
It totally is. It is. So are you going to make the NBA? Or are you going to play in the NHL? I mean, it's kind of the same thing, right?
Or am I just going to play the league down and be able to pay the bills?
Exactly.
And skirt along. Chances are that's where you would land, right?
But if you did make it big, then like you said, you could cut back on your hours and you could have a streaming schedule that makes a bit more sense and still have a life.
Yeah,
but
that's where I'm in love with it. But it's like
totally, because you're looking at the people that have made it and they're now able to step back a little bit or hire people to help them with it. But that being said, they still have to be constantly on social media and stuff like that as well. I mean, I think that is a huge part of it, is allowing people that access and to be involved with your audience. And I think that part of it is actually some of the hardest stuff, because suddenly, like you said, it's hard to just be off. You know, I love some of my friends that stream to death, but they have easily become the most difficult people to get together with and hang out with. Just because, one, the times when they're working and they're streaming and they're online and they need to be doing all that, those are the times that I'm not working. And all the times that I'm working, that's all the times that they're getting ready to work.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is they work
evenings, weekends,
most popular,
is when people aren't working, right? Because you want people watching.
I can't be screaming in my house. Well, I kind of scream when we record the show because I'm in the basement, but I can't. I couldn't picture doing it with like my baby. Like, I'd be waking her up, and then my wife would want to fucking murder me.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
Anyway, this is a little tangent. So
yeah,
it's like, I don't know. I'm happy. I love streamers. I love YouTubers. I'm happy when they're successful, and I like changes like this. It's like, good for them. They deserve all the money in the world, because I don't think a lot of people give them enough credit. It's hard work. I know, because I've edited videos,
yeah,
and it's a lot of fucking work. Hence why I don't do it very often.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't done it in a couple of years. But when I was doing it, the shitty ass videos that I did make, that was a lot of fucking work.
Like I said, the people that are streaming and trying to make that work for them, those are the people I see the least.
So with that, let's jump back on the tracks here and move into our public service announcements. You can now get StarCraft for free. There's no catch.
Oh.
Get the game for free. Click here.
That game came out in 1998?
In preparation for the remastered version of Brood War that's scheduled this summer. So let's see. Click here. It takes us to StarCraft.com.
So in other words, they're going to give the original away for free in hopes to drum
StarCraft
up interest.
And StarCraft Brood War
so
are now
they
free.
Can sell the remastered version to a whole bunch of people that are all high on the regular version.
PC and Mac. And they even issued a new patch.
Does it include resolution changes?
No. I don't know. I doubt it. It probably wouldn't support my monitor. Added windowed full screen or windowed mode.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I might have to download that. I think I already own StarCraft 2 because I think it came with StarCraft because it came with the StarCraft 2 Collector's Edition.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you got PC or Mac and want to play some classic StarCraft, which is fantastic, it's free now. And then that's it for PSAs, unless you got anything. Going once, going twice, gone. Free for all.
Oh, okay.
We already talked about Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer, and everything was out of order this section, as well as our One Punch Man discussion at the top.
Jeez.
Because I meant to say I watched it because you did. And I forgot to say last show. But anyway, we're talking about doing a lot of shit this weekend. So I had a list of tech freaking shit I wanted to do.
Okay.
My phone got the Nougat, Android Nougat.
Oh, Nougat. Finally. Wow.
That sounds so fucking stupid. What a dumb fucking name for your operating system.
Nougat?
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
I just want to point out I've had Nougat for a while now.
Yeah, shut up, Mr. Google Pixel phone. Shove it up your buttskulls.
I'm just about getting... What's the one that's coming after Nougat now?
I don't even fucking know. The alphabet? Oh, Oreo? Oreo. Is it Oreo?
Have they announced the name for it yet?
It's just O.
Oh.
But I swear I saw Oreos.
Maybe.
Someone's fucking yelling at their podcast player right now and saying, you guys are fucking idiots.
So anyway, so you got Nougat, finally.
Yes, I got Nougat, finally. So being a total anal retentive OCD person that I am, Whenever I get a major system update, I like to do a restore on my device.
Right.
Kind of like a clean install. It's totally mental. I feel like when you go from one OS to another, weird shit starts happening. You have crap left over from the last version, and to me, it's like, fuck it. Blow it all away, start from scratch. I don't know. It's just something I do. So it was on my list of things to do. So I did that,
okay.
which was painless. Honestly, all my contacts are in the cloud. All my shit's in the cloud. I know all my main apps. Actually, one major thing I did do, I don't have Facebook on my cell phone anymore.
Okay.
I said, fuck you, Facebook. You're not on my phone.
Okay. Why?
So just because I just keep hearing more and more about all the creepy crawly shit that Facebook does on your phone with its tendrils of permissions and getting in everywhere, that I'm like, you know what? No. Fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg, you dick. Asshole. Making money off of my information. You're not on my phone.
Okay.
So there's no reason for it. I just felt like, and then I'm
so
also
now I
not
can't
on Facebook.
Facebook message you.
You can Facebook message me. It'll pop up on my PC.
But not on your phone.
No, but you can text me.
Oh,
so
okay.
I have text.
Oh, got it.
No one of value only messages me on Facebook. Well, that's a lie. People of value message me on Facebook. But very important people will text me.
Okay.
There's never a life-threatening message on Messenger waiting for me that I need to worry about.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. My friends use Messenger to get a hold of me. But usually, who's getting a hold of me on Messenger is that guy that wants to bug me, that wants a job, or wants this or that. And it's like, oh, I signed up for this, and I got to wait like 3 weeks for my appointment, man. Can you do anything for me? It's like, get bent. Shit like that.
Right.
Friend of a friend, buddy.
Got it.
So I'm not missing anything there. So whatever. Anyway, did that.
Okay.
At the same time, though.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Yeah, I know. I'm a weirdo. The other one was Windows 10. We had the content creator, whatever.
Creator update. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Whatever the fuck.
Wait, did you run out and install that the day it came out?
I force downloaded it.
Oh, you're such a ninny.
You're a ninny. Shut up. You work in IT and you don't like doing that. I like new shiny things. Hey, look, a light. It's blinking.
Do you know how many computers I have that I can put new versions of things on to test it? I have it installed on two of my devices that I use quite heavily. And I also do not have it on one of my devices that I need to work all the time.
And it's whatever. It's my PC.
Fair enough.
It's whatever. So I forced the download and I installed it. And then I'm like, hey, I'm going to do a clean install. Because I think I went from Windows 7 to Windows 8 to Windows 10 on my machine without doing a clean install. And that is like... I used to always do a clean install once a year.
Wow.
Because, again, this is
definitely
OCD.
Not needed anymore.
No, I know, and it's not. What it does for me, though, is it forces me to
clean out your shit.
Newer, better versions of shit that I should be using. Get rid of old crap that I don't use anymore that's just loading in my freaking taskbar that I never bothered uninstalling. I just seem to streamline every time I do a new OS install.
Okay.
So anyway, I did that. It's running great. My PC seems faster. It could be totally mental in my head, but I swear to God, it boots up in like 2 freaking seconds. But then the weird Windows 10 things popped up. And I always heard people complain about Windows 10 on the sidelines here and there about weird shit that they do. And I was like, no, Windows 10 is great. Yeah, la, la. So my user account got migrated to a Microsoft account.
Okay.
Which was one thing. And then I noticed a bunch... Sorry, I dropped something. I noticed a bunch of weird folders on my hard drives. I'm like, what the fuck? What's this shit?
Let me guess.
like,
You had hidden folders showing?
I had Windows apps folders on my... I have 4 hard drives in my computer because I've got like 3 SSDs and a 2 terabyte drive. And yes, I have 4 hard drives because SSDs are expensive, so I only buy 240 gig ones. I'm not crazy enough to buy a 500 or terabyte, so I just keep getting 240s on sale every once in a while.
Sure.
So anyway, I noticed I had some folders on a couple of my hard drives that were like Windows apps or WP underscore something something. And I'm like, the fuck's this shit?
Okay.
Like, what are these click delete. You do not have permission to delete this folder. You're not the owner of this folder. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? So I got to go down the great rabbit hole of permissions and securities. And those were folders I figured out from my old install of Windows 10 that the new clean install was still... I guess the permissions are written to the folder and carry over to a new OS install. They're not wiped.
Well, not if they're on separate hard drives.
I don't know. I couldn't delete the fucking folders, and I did a clean install.
Yeah. Anyways, as somebody who deals with this every single day,
I don't deal with permissions and users.
Oh yeah, see, this is welcome to my world.
This is stuff from the networking management side of things, and I know these things exist.
Yep.
But as a single desktop user, it's not something that really ever affects you. Because you don't need to set up permissions. You have full access, full read and write, yada, yada, yada.
If you're running as the admin, but yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I had to go in. I had to give myself administrator. I had to do a bunch of read-write privilege exception bullshit. It took me a couple searches, and eventually I got it, and I deleted those folders. So that's what I was all pissed off about, fucking telling Windows to suck my fat 32 dick. And you were all like, what are you doing with fat 32? I'm like, I'm not doing nothing. I just thought it was funny to say that.
Fair enough.
Because it took me way too long to delete 6 folders than I am willing to admit.
Right.
And there was files. Those, for whatever reason, the files in those folders were hidden. And what they were my Gears of War installs and my Forza 3 installs from my old OS, right? But they were still taking up hard drive space, but they were inaccessible. They didn't show up as being installed, but they were taking up space on those hard drives.
Well, here's the thing that I'm none too pleased about with the Windows, what is it, the UWP or UWA, which is like the universal Windows extensions that they're essentially when you download something from the Microsoft Store, it downloads it in the format, in the new Windows format. And
yeah, that's why I couldn't tell what was in those folders as well. It wasn't just like a folder saying Forza 3 or Gears 4.
And what really pisses me off is that, like, I had Gears of War 4 installed. And so I went to my programs and features because I wanted to uninstall it.
After you beat it.
Guess what? It wasn't there.
It just wasn't there.
It just wasn't there. So I was like, okay, well, that's kind of weird. Maybe I'll just go into my Xbox folder. And I'll just delete it from my Xbox folder. There was a place that said it's already installed, but there was absolutely nowhere in that program, anywhere, was there an uninstall button. So I was like, okay, maybe I got to log into the Windows Store and log into my account, and then it would show me what's installed and look at my apps and uninstall it from there. Nope. Totally wouldn't. Nothing. Again, shows that it's installed. Can't uninstall it from there.
So to free up the 50 or 60 gigs it's taking.
So finally, I right-clicked on it in my stupid start menu. Oh, look. There's an uninstall option on it. So right-click, uninstall.
But not using any of the stuff that we've been used to for the last 2 decades.
That's the thing.
Uninstalling.
Like the beauty of the programs and features area, so that you can click on and you can go to programs and features and you can see everything that's installed on your system. It's an amalgamation of all of that, and it makes life way easier that knowing that I can go there and just see what's installed and uninstall what I don't need anymore.
It's pretty logical that you go to the start menu and you right click on it and you can uninstall it. That totally makes sense.
Sure.
But you forgot to tell us along the way when we're used to always going to the apps and programs button where everything was installed and you can uninstall from there.
Well, and not only that, but when I go to my programs and features and it's not showing up there,
that's pretty
it's super
stupid.
annoying. Like, I'm all for allowing both.
Yeah,
I'm all for right-clicking and
still...
uninstalling. That's great. But the thing is why isn't it showing up under my programs and features as well?
Yeah, apps and features. Yeah, absolute.
So
that's
so super unintuitive. I was a little bit, yeah.
And then the other Windows 10 thing that was annoying me is that because they created a Microsoft, they migrated me to a Microsoft account compared to a local user account.
Yep.
My user folder is like Rico I. It's like it's not. It's like based off my email address.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's not even the full thing. It's like just cut off. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
I
want my user folder to be fucking Rico. So now I got to go. I haven't done it yet. And I know the solution is under users, you can just go create local account and switch it to a local account. But it's so stupid.
Here's the thing.
Just weird. There's just weird, a lot of weird file management stuff I noticed with Windows 10.
As somebody that works in IT.
Lives and breathes this.
Use your Microsoft account. There's a bunch of really cool stuff that if you don't actually use and have a Microsoft account and use it to log in and use your computer, you actually miss out on a whole bunch of cool stuff.
So you're saying I should just fucking leave it and deal with the folder name being weird?
I would, but that being said, what I also always do, and this is just maybe because I work in IT and I got to deal with this shit all the time, I always have a local administrator account set up on the machine in case something happens to my regular account. I can always log into that and I still have administrator access on my computer.
Well, that's not a terrible idea.
And I have that set up on my home computer. And again, working in IT, that's something that I think pretty much anybody that works in IT will tell you they do the exact same thing, because if you have a domain, you lose trust with that domain. If you don't have a local administrator account,
you can't
get back into that computer without jumping through 1,000,001 hoops and possibly even having to reinstall the OS, which is a giant pain. Whereas if you have a local account that's an administrator that you can log into,
you don't have to worry about that.
You can always log into it, leave the domain, join the domain again, and you're off to the races. So this is a similar thing. The way I look at it, I use my Microsoft account all the time. It's great. It's never been an issue, but I do have a local administrator account that I can log into just in case.
I do like logging in with I didn't realize you can use a PIN to log in. It's so much faster than typing in my password every time.
Yep. You can log in with a PIN. You can do there's a bunch of funky stuff.
I think you can turn it off completely, but I have my shit locked down because I'm paranoid.
That's just smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, so we're totally in the fucking weeds here, people. Sorry if you're getting bored with our Windows 10 talk. I promise we're almost done here. I will say that the formatting was super quick and super easy.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of streamlining that now.
You don't even need like a boot disk or a USB because it creates a reserved partition in Windows itself.
Yeah.
So it has all the files there. So
yeah, it creates a recovery partition whenever you install Windows now.
It was super fast, and it was It was the most flawless, but besides the annoyances left over from, and that's probably a little bit of going from 7 to 8 to 10.
And it's also
9,
part of it
was
is
no 9.
Your own OCD-ness as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people would look at that and wouldn't even give a shit.
People would ignore that. Man, my hard drives are way too organized for their own goddamn good, and that's... If people could see the way I have files on my computer, you'd probably think I was a crazy person, but that's a whole other story. I spend way too much time doing ridiculous stuff with files on hard drives.
Fair enough.
I spent 3 weeks or 4 weeks fucking IDing all my MP3s and putting proper cover art on them.
Wow.
I think more than 3 weeks, and I think I had something like 50 or 60,000 MP3s.
What is wrong with you?
I fucking wish I knew. I'm a special little bird.
You're a special snowflake.
Special something. With that, my friends, I think I'm going to say we are out. Episode 104 in the gigabits. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF. No KRICF.
You can always come bug me on Twitter at Dane Cody at DAYNECODY.
Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Geekoholics at all three sources. Of course, share us with your friends if you have not already. Leave us a review on iTunes or any podcast services available to you. And of course, thank you for listening. We appreciate every single one of you awesome peoples, and the feedback is great as well. We do it because we enjoy it, and we enjoy that you enjoy it. And if I get to make you laugh sometimes with my ridiculousness and penis talk, that makes me even happier.
We love you.
Until next week, we are out. Peace.
Reach out. What do you see? Light. Darkness. A balance. It's so much bigger. I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.